the man that had the most effect on the world was Jesus.
Yeah, sure.
The government murdered him. The
Yep.
government set him up. The governor went along with the program, executed him. The government was responsible for every bit of that, and the governor and Caiaphas and Caesar set up a martyr situation that's with us today.
Yep.
But,
no, you're absolutely right.
Mahatma Gandhi and the others are not, children compared to what Jesus did.
You're right. And when we come back, folks, we'll go into the home stretch of the show. We'll be talking about all the current issues, taking phone calls when we come back. Stay tuned.
In a world where corrupt oppressors and oligarchs have seized control of the populations, total tyranny is amongst us. The burden of humanity rests on our shoulders. The only way out is to expose the global crime syndicate known as the New World Order. Together, we are all one. Together, we are Intel soldiers. The battle for free humanity ensues. Join us in the fight. TheIntelHub.com.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and family. Now this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years, but the crazy part is he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties, a few years ago. In fact, Baronis called his work a dire prophecy. Now, this has nothing to do with the stock market, but it could have a huge impact on almost every aspect of your life. And recently, he created a video which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica8.com. Although this video may be offensive to some audiences, it's worth checking out. Again, that's www.endofamerica8.com. Watch this free video at www.endofamerica8.com. You are listening to the Intel Hub News Network, crushing the New World Order piece by piece. Secure your future. Get your non-hybrid seed pack now. With the looming economic crisis, food shortages, and other toxic disasters, now is the time to be ready. Just click on the Heirloom Organics banner at the top of our Blog Talk Radio page today. Secure your future and the future of your family in hard times. Heirloom Organic Seeds.
Join me, Joe Joseph, John King, and A.C. Griffith, Thursdays and Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern for Freedomlink Radio on the Intel Hub News Network. Well, folks, we're back. We're in the home stretch. Remember that we've launched our new site, the Freedom Link has, www.thefreedomlinkradio.com. Now it's in its raw form, so be prepared when you go there because there's really not much content in it yet, but we are working on it hastily as John King familiarizes himself with WordPress. And if anybody has any questions or comments, please, the number to call, 877-598-8549. And with that, I thought maybe I would bring on our good buddy Bob Tuskin on the show for our home stretch for the last half an hour. So without further ado, Bob, are you there?
Yes, I am, and I'm ready to talk about Egypt and all other current events.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Oh, my.
Walk like an Egyptian.
You like that? I got theme music when I call up.
Kind of feel like it's the WWF, just kind of toned down.
Exactly. Well, I figured I'd come in and say hello, and Egypt's definitely been in the news. I know a lot of our listeners are interested in figuring out what's going on. The internet kill switch, a big subject matter that comes up, and also something I found interesting, a lot of the looting is a result of agent provocateurs. I was watching Al Jazeera's coverage of what's going on in Egypt, and they very matter-of-factly described the agent provocateur process and how that's being used to create this violence. So then they have a reason, the old Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution, to crack down on the people and continue to take away their freedom. And what a great place to talk about the revolution in Egypt, other than Freedomlink Radio, where we're all about freedom.
Hot diggity dog, man. I tell you what, it is about freedom here, isn't it, Griff?
I'm not sure, Joe.
Come on,
No,
Griff.
I don't think it has anything to do with freedom.
No,
I think
not
people believe
Egypt.
that it doesn't have anything to do with democracy.
No, of course not.
It has to do with takeover of strategic land resources and governments and money.
My
Amen
question is, what does Israel have to do with this? I mean, you have to look at the connection between Egypt and Israel and what's going on with Israel. It's a question that we have to ask. Of course, Israel, in my opinion, an illegal regime taking over the Palestinians' homelands and oppressing them, and, of course, working hand in foot with the United States with very influential lobbyists. But, hey, I'm Jewish, so I'm allowed to talk about this stuff, not you guys.
I'm an honorary Jew.
You are?
Well, I've heard that.
I was made an honorary Jew. Yeah, I put up a monument to the Jews. Good Presbyterian boy did that. Yeah.
How
if
does
you're
one
a true
go
friend
about
of the Jews, then you'll be critical of Israel. That's for sure.
No, not at all. I think I'm pro-Israel.
Now, let me ask you something, Griff. How does one become an honorary Jew?
I put up a huge monument to the Jewish soldiers in the cemetery here. A big thing, huge, like a crane to put it up.
Oh, like a
and we
like
brought
a
in
World War II memorial?
Jews from all over the country, and we had 250 Jews, and bagpipes, and we dedicated and put a big plaque on the front of it, and they made me an honorary Jew.
For a second, I thought he was going to tell us he was circumcised again.
No, I'm a Jew from the waist up and Presbyterian from the waist down.
Well, that's good, Griff, for sure. But
yeah.
What do you think?
I'm the only one.
What do you think Israel's role is in all this?
I don't think they're very happy with it. I think it's going to be missile launching platforms in the backyard. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to a point. Or do you think this kind of plays right into their hand? I think it kind of plays right into their hand.
I think it's detrimental to Israel.
Well, I kind of see it a different way, and the reason why is because Israel's got the U.S. right in their back pocket.
I don't think so.
I don't think that Israel would ever come under threat and the United States just not be there.
Look, we're bankrupt. We're bankrupt, and we have an Obama administration that's not necessarily pro-Israel.
Right.
He's going around the Congress all the time, executive orders. How could it possibly be pro-Israel with all of the things going on detrimental to Israel?
I don't know.
Don't talk all at one time.
Well, yeah, a lot of thoughts come to mind, and I'm no fan of Israel. In fact, if you're a true fan of the Jewish people, you're not a fan of Israel, because Israel promotes anti-Semitism, or so-called anti-Semitism, against the Jewish people. It sets them up so that there's more hatred towards those people. When you take such a provocative stance and you treat a group of people like you don't want to be treated yourself, in essence, put them in concentration camps or ghettos and restrict their ability to travel and so forth. I know it's a little bit of a, I guess you could say, controversial subject matter for me to bring this up, but hey, again, I come from a Jewish family, so this isn't me being racist. You can't accuse me of being anti-Semitic or whatever. This is about human rights, and this is also about the 30% of oil that goes through the Suez Canal. That's another interesting aspect to all this, is how oil plays into this all. And of course, we can live without oil, but we can't live without water. And I don't know if you guys know this, but in Iraq, they have one of the largest freshwater aquifers in the Middle East. And of course, a lot of that water also goes through the Suez Canal. So there's a lot of interesting things as far as resources are concerned that play into this.
Right. Now, John King, your thoughts on the whole Israel and Egypt mess?
I think Egypt or Israel is in deep doo-doo. Egypt falls. It's going to be a very fertile breeding ground for anti-Israeli. A lot of people that hate Israel. I'll just put it this way: the people that hate Israel, they're going to have a field day. Bombings in the markets, in the streets, all over the place. This is the potential of exploding in an all-out war over there, and this could get out of hand. And in my opinion, I don't like. Why do we need to call them the New World Order? Because it makes it sound the powers that be made that New World Order. If you say that, you're a wacko, you're a terrorist, and keep an eye on him. He's not all there. Why not? Why don't we just say the global banking elite? When the global banking elite want to do something, they do it. We just call it the New World Order. And they're really loving it right now, because as all these misfit dictatorships fall over there, you watch J.P. Morgan Chase, Sachs, Bank of America, Royal Bank of Scotland, they're all going to have their own little ATM underneath the fence and inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, right beside the gift shop.
Could you imagine that? I mean, now, see, I've been there, John, so that would be quite a feat to do that. Just, I mean, logistically speaking, it's kind of out of the way. Actually, if you stand on the Giza Plateau, you can look down and see Cairo right there. So it's pretty interesting. But you're absolutely right. I don't know how this is all going to unfold. I do know that there is ultimately a higher agenda here, and that how we all play into this higher agenda, it's going to really affect a lot of people. And we can either decide to play, or we can decide not to play. God gave us all free will. That's one thing that He gave us. Whether or not you choose to exercise it, that's your choice. But let me just tell you, folks, you don't have to do and go along with a lot of these things that people say or do. Now, are there consequences to it? Absolutely. I think Gwen said it best. When Gwen from South Dakota, she called, and she was talking about how she lived without electricity, she lived without running water, she lived without all these things, and she was free. She didn't have all that other stuff to worry about, and nobody had control over her. And it's true. Now there's certain sacrifices you got to make when you do something like that, but the fact of the matter is you're out of the system, you're out of the beast, you come out from within it. And there's a certain liberation, a certain feeling that you get when you do that. And there's a certain power that you have, because they don't control you. And you'd be surprised at just how controlled we all really are. Isn't that right, Griff?
You're right.
Thanks, Griff.
I guess so, Joe. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. You can sit back here and try to figure out the name of the game, and you're not going to even come close. it's probably 10 or 15 agendas playing out in those people down there protesting and burning buildings, and God only